Hello? 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 Anyone home? There's a throne to be taken. You know, I could sit on that throne back there, but I feel like if I sit down, the instant I do, my ears will turn round, and I'll start talking in a higher voice like this. Oh, hee. And I'd slowly be wearing pants, and I would feel very wrong wearing pants. You want to see every inch of my beautiful bod. Clothing on this thing? Well, maybe something saucy on occasion, but, you know, neck is usually the way I roll. What am I doing here again? Oh, right, I saw a movie. I saw a very, very bad movie. Can you guess what it was? What high-profile film is in the theater right now, as of the time of this recording, that would be appropriate for me to talk about while in a Disney castle? Can you guess? Yes, folks. Angels in the Outfield. No. Kid in King Arthur's Court, perhaps? What's another obscure 90s Disney film? Well, it wasn't a Snow White that came out in the 90s, but it was with a horror film with Sigourney Weaver and was not a Disney joint. I should have watched that one. I watched the new live-action remake of Disney Snow White. Not with and no Seven Dwarfs are attached to that title, just Snow White. So why did I bother? Well, Kanada Mama, file photo here, wanted to see it. She has enjoyed most of the live-action Disney things. I love her. I'm not going to account for her taste with things. But as I'm sitting in the theater with her and we're watching this and another Disney Channel original caliber song pipes in, we both are sitting there going, this sucks. This sucks. You want to just talk shit about this movie while we're watching it? There's no one else in this theater. Yes, I do. And we did. And we had a pretty good bonding moment of telling it like it is. This movie sucks ass. Now, as I said before, most of these Disney remakes fall into a category of either don't justify their existence or hit a middle ground where they just barely reproduce the original, either as a flatline or a little bit worse. Snow White has the distinction of being the new bottom. It's a big bottom. Not in the good way, not in the way, in the bad. There's a barrel here. We've taken out the original bottom, put a new bottom in here, and have filled it back up with rotting fish. Which, you know, would be good for a cat sometimes, but this is the bad comparison. I make a lot of odd comparison jokes that go nowhere. My brand. My brand. Old jokes. My brand. Memes. Look them up, children. Yeah, so this movie's bad and is the new low of all these remakes. Because not only is it a worse version of the originals, the new stuff it adds is also crap. And the additional weight of the new stuff just makes this a longer, unpleasant sit. Is it all bad? Pretty much. There's a germ of a couple of conceptual ideas in here that could have been more interesting in a better movie, but they're just here as someone who had a better concept of what to do with this could have made something watchable. They're not here. They were never hired. What you're getting is this big, embarrassing misfire of a flick that I saw on a Monday afternoon with nobody in the damn theater. Kind of goes to tell, and it's opening weekend. So, and even on opening weekends on like a weekday, there's going to be somebody. There's going to be a couple of families and kids. Just somebody. Crickets. I ate a couple crickets. They were delicious. Chocolate on them. Yeah, so nobody's going to see it. No one sees this. They know what this is. They smelled it ahead of time. I smelled it, but I had a family member who wanted to see it, and you do stuff for family. For family. And even she was like, well, we wasted our day. Yeah, we kind of did. Oh, well. I've seen worse movies. Not this year, but I've seen worse movies. I suppose I should stop procrastinating on this and just go into it a bit, because Snow White on its face originally was not a favorite of mine. Like, it was there. It has historical purpose, and that's the first full-length animated feature that Disney did. I think the first full-length animated feature period, actually. I forget. I could look, but, also my brand, no research. You get what's on the top of my head. Pompadour. Oh yeah, it had motion. Ooh, physics bones. So it has historical purpose. Doesn't necessarily mean that it was a great movie. It is the prototype. It is the first one out. It was the beginning of the Disney formula. You take a public domain princess story, usually from the Grimms. You retrofit it for families. You add in song and dance numbers. You rotoscope the same 5 or 6 people doing animations, and you do that for like 20 years, pretty much, for the first few decades of their existence. And it's the brand, and it keeps going. And we'll be going probably long after I'm a skeleton. But I think we're nearing the end of this live-action thing, because, one, we're running out of movies that are worth actually remaking. I don't see them trying to do this with Black Cauldron. I'd like them to try with that one. That one would be funny to see them try. No, they're going to do Moana, which just came out like less than 10 years ago, and just had a sequel come out last year. That's probably... That's kind of confusing for the folks. Let's do the live-action remake that we usually save for once something is done to restart it, when we just had a very successful sequel just come out. That's not going to cause problems for this particular franchise. I'm procrastinating again. But yeah, I think we've hit diminishing returns. Little Mermaid was not super interested with anybody. I never bothered seeing that one. This one, nobody's bothering with it. The Lilo and Stitch one coming out. I'm not expecting much to happen out of that one beyond a massive resurgence of porn of him, which, at least there's that. It won't be a total loss. But this movie in particular, probably a total loss. You have our lead, I think her name is Renee. I think her name is Renee. I can't say her name. Zellweger. Let me hear how to say that. Zellweger. Wigglytuff. Wigglytuff is our Snow White princess, and she's here to sing, and she's not a bad singer. Like, she is doing the singing thing. It's a shame her songs all suck. Snow White, the original, had like, what, 3 songs? We're still by your work. And ho Gremlins. Those are the 2 that everyone remembers and gives a shit about. So, also, the original was like barely an hour long-ish. This is like full length, 90 minutes and some change. You need more, and all those wonderful Disney songs that everyone remembers and are cultural staples. Yeah, the writers for those have been dead for decades, and the ones in the 90s have long moved on or are also dead. So what you're left with is the Frozen people, who are overworked and busy doing Wicked. So, they'll come back for Frozen 3. And the Hamilton people, who just turned in their napkin notes for Mufasa. So, not going to bother with that there. And you have whoever was doing the songs for this one, because there's a lot of songs in here. They all suck. And the redos of the original 2, or 3, whatever it was, also suck. They add nothing beyond us being a fresh recording with some altered lines and made longer. You won't realize they were longer. You won't really care. You'll just go, oh, it's that one, because it's expected. Everything in here is mostly expected, with a couple of minor things. All the new additions, especially with the songs, bad. Unmemorable, Disney Channel, special, High School Musical caliber fluff, without even the fun camp of High School Musical stuff. Just forgettable crap. Fluff. Might as well not even be here. And unfortunately, those bad songs are with connective tissue for all the additional stuff that's been attached to this really thin plot that you had with your original Snow White. Because you got Snow White, you got the evil queen, Fairest in the Land, mirror shit, goes in the woods, runs away because the huntsman can't bother to actually kill her. Finds some dwarves living in the woods, crashes in their house. They're all friendly, happy songs. Some dancing happens, some magic animals dance around. Witch decides to try to kill her with poison fruit. It works. Dwarves chase her off a cliff and she's killed by a rock and lightning. And then a random prince comes out of nowhere and kisses a dead woman and revives her. And well, good for him. He's like, oh, my necrophilia paid off for once. Cool. You want to get married, lady? Sure, my prince husband, who I just now met as I came back from the dead. I've been dead in this coffin for like a month and a half. I have so much rain damage. The end. That's like an hour. This has other stuff built in. Bad songs. The germ idea of interest was Snow White's parents, who are quite dead, because of course they are, it's a Disney movie, they're always dead, basically told her to be the people's queen or whatever, and the movie farts around with the concept of her being the leader of a people's revolution against the evil queen, which, in better hands, could have been something funny or at least interesting. Here it's just, the germ of the concept exists, they don't use it, but it is there technically. So on a technicality, there's a concept. And then it just keeps going, and it's like, this is not worth my trouble. What else was there in here? This movie does have a more interesting production history in that, and I'm pulling this out of my ass where I keep my memories. That's normal for Kanada. Where they filmed it with full-size actors. Then they were going to CGI them to be short like hobbits. And then they decided, because there was backlash against that, to just replace the actors entirely with CGI dwarves that look way more like the original cartoon designs, instead of just hiring little people to play the dwarves like they should have. And there's plenty of actors and actresses who would have loved to do that and gotten paid to do that and being a Disney film, and yeah, so you wasted millions of dollars for something, and your end result, not good. The CGI looks both nice and bad at the same time. The facial detail is good. They don't blend into the scene whatsoever, and they're lit poorly most of the time. The voice acting feels unattached to them for some reason, like they're... I don't know if it's an issue with the animation or what, but there's like a weird detachment of the voices from the designs, which, considering that these probably were not meant to be voice acting lines originally and then were made that way post-production, later in production, might be the problem. Oh yeah, Dopey talks, which is weird. Also, he looks like Alfred E. Newman, which kind of made me like him the best, because while the other ones all look like creepy, Uncanny Valley cartoon caricatures of things, he looks like Alfred E. Newman and doesn't talk that much. The other ones won't shut the fuck up. He doesn't talk until nearly the end of the movie, and his voice is quiet and calm and not too aggravating. And secret narrator, but that's another issue. So I don't hate him, because he reminds me of Mad Magazine. Mad Magazine was a thing that existed. Old jokes. My brand. I'm old. I'm a cat. I have no penis. I have no genitalia. Maybe I do. Maybe I don't. You have to look between my legs to find out. Gender. It's fun. Where was I? Distracted. That's where I was. Oh yeah, our other main is our evil queen, played by Wonder Woman. And, oh, poor Gal Gadot. I liked you as Wonder Woman. I think that was in your wheelhouse. You can do romantic things a little okay. You can do action movie things okay. Your wheelhouse does not include a vamping, campy, evil villain character. You don't have the stones or the component. You don't have the acting range to pull this off. I am sorry. And the script is doing you no favors, and you just come across as trying very hard and not hitting the mark, and no one said, let's try something else. You just kept going, and it's kind of embarrassing. And that's without going into all the other issues with your casting being here, because the world sucks at all times. And I won't go into it. Maybe I should. That way my comments will explode and I'll get engagement. No, I'm not doing that. I don't want that even I don't want that shit. So, she's bad at this. They gave her a song. 2 songs, actually. They suck. And are weirdly out of character with with the Evil Queen, from what I remember. Evil Queen, of all the Disney villainesses, and partly because she was the first one, she don't have much of a character. She just envious and kind of a bitch. That's about it. And she don't even like talk that much. She just looks sourpuss. Like, Maleficent comes later. They figure out what to do with her. She's fun. She's queen. So the Evil Queen was just kind of a sourpuss. This one tries to make her a vampy, campy thing like Cruella or maybe Jafar or hell even Scar, and it don't work at all. It just feels out of character weirdly. For a kid who had no character, they managed to make this feel out of character. What the hell? They do try a few other small, minor differences, like they were aware of having the prince show up at the end of the movie to kiss a dead woman. Probably not the best look these days. So they took out the Prince Charming and replaced him with Robin Hood, essentially. You have a thief that Snow White rescues, and they make lovey-dovey, and he fills in the Prince Charming role of being the male protagonist, of being the male side piece here. His character is just Robin Hood, and he's not good, and his songs are also terrible, and their chemistry between him and Snow White is complete going on. Ooh, excuse me. Enjoy that flavor. Their chemistry is complete dead zone. And what you're left with is just, well, it's something different, I guess, for that part. So you replace one bad idea with a different bad idea. No, it does not add up into any kind of a plus, I'm afraid. Sorry. Then we get her to our ending, which is just lame. This is a very toothless movie, which, hey, the live action How to Train Your Dragon coming up with Toothless. That's also probably going to be, that also feels like a bad idea. We'll get to that later. The ending of this is very toothless. This is a very, some of these live action ones have had a little bit of teeth to them with, like, maybe they'll kill some characters off or have a little bit of violence and do some stuff. Again, Maleficent is weirdly becoming the top tier out of this whole thing, and I found that as a deeply frustrating ass movie. It's starting to look better and better by the day. That had something happening. That had teeth. That had purpose. That had reason to exist. This one's ending is just shows there is nothing to this thing. I wouldn't call it soulless, but because that would imply there was some point beyond making a profit, beyond just making money on this thing. There's just no reason for this to be. And this is so toothless that it feels funny. Like the Aladdin remake gave Princess Jasmine an empowerment song, because in that original version, she just gets captured and is damseled. That one gave her an empowerment song, and then immediately had her get captured anyway, so that made that retroactively funny. This one decides to cash in its People's Revolution idea, which just results in Snow White walking into the town of... This kingdom has a population of about, 50 extras. Walks them into the queen's doorstep. Queen comes out and dares her to kill her with a magic knife. And instead of, doing something like showing the difference between kind-hearted power and violence power and whatnot, and people's revolutions tend to be very violent things usually, it don't do it. It just chickens out entirely. Snow White won't hurt her at all, and they don't do anything with that, just beyond, she's the good guy, she won't stab her, she really should. Knife gets given to some rando, and the queen tells him, hey, you kill her instead, because I'm too good to actually do anything regarding killing the good guy, or anything competent, actually. The whole movie the good guys only win this because the queen did not take good diligence when it comes to keeping prisoners. Like, she put them to both side by side on the same chain line, and they yanked the chain out and escaped. If you literally put them in separate rooms with an actual guard on duty, they probably would have not have escaped and died, and Snow White would have stayed dead in the forest on a rock. The Queen really sucks in this. Oh yeah, distraction. Ending. Refused to stab her, gives it to another guy, and Snow White's big push for non-violence with her People's Revolution is the fact she remembered everyone's friggin' name and prior occupation from when she was a child, which is enough to remind everybody and get them to turn on the Queen. Her whole guard of like 20 people. And then she immediately runs into the castle, throws a hissy fit in front of her damn mirror, breaks it, and that turns out to be a bad thing because the mirror is load-bearing. So she is, like, turned to glass and Thanos into dust and sucked into the mirror, which then reforms and closes that behind her and leaves her trapped in the mirror dimension, I guess. Maybe she'll go see Zod and all the other Kryptonians. Anyways, the movie just ends with reprisal of one of the other songs, and Dopey's the narrator has been telling us the whole story the whole time. Oh, what a revelation. We knew this from the start as soon as we realized Dopey was going to talk. There's nothing here. There's no reason to see this. Even as like a bad movie, there's nothing here to actually work as a bad movie. Like, Maleficent 2, funny, bad, but entertaining, like a fun bad. This is just normal bad, boring bad. You come in, you see the thing that resembles the original, and then you're forced to sit through a bunch of really bad, uninteresting songs, additional padding to get the thing to full length, and then you're done. There's nothing here. This is the new bottom bitch of the Disney remakes. I need to stop going to the movies to see these things. See you at Train Your Dragon, the remake of How to Train Your Dragon. Bye! Like and subscribe. Enjoy my pain. The pain! The pain! Yay! Whip my ass. I like it. Go away.